Alright, let's talk about Sworn and its awesome lineup of playable characters. This co-op roguelike throws you into the mystical land of Avalon, where you and your friends will take on the corrupted King Arthur and his knights. But here's the cool part. You're not stuck with just one character. Sworn gives you a roster of unique heroes, each with their own weapons, abilities, and playstyles. At first, you'll only have access to Vigilante, but as you progress, you can unlock 3 more characters by completing specific challenges and activating their statues at Carmarthen Tower. Trust me, each one brings something fresh to the battlefield. So, who are these heroes? Well, each character in Sworn comes with their own strengths and weaknesses, making them better suited for different strategies. Some excel in raw damage, while others are all about speed, defense, or magic. As you play, you'll unlock new weapons and attacks, letting you customize their loadout even further. Whether you prefer a fast-paced hit-and-run style or a tanky powerhouse build, there's a character that fits your playstyle perfectly. And today, we're breaking down every character in Sworn, so you know exactly who to pick for your next run. Let's get into it. I'm quickly moving on to the video. Before we start, if you enjoy these types of list videos, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Enjoy watching. Vigilante is one of the most versatile characters you'll start with in Sworn, and trust me, he's an absolute blast to play. Right from the get-go, you've got access to his short sword and his signature ability, Blade Rush. This lets you zip across the battlefield, slicing through enemies like a whirlwind. But don't get too cocky. Vigilante isn't exactly built like a tank. If you're not careful, a few heavy hits from enemies can send you back to the respawn screen faster than you'd like. The good news? His ranged attacks let you keep your distance while still dishing out damage. Now let's talk melee. Vigilante's light attack is a 3-strike combo that's ridiculously fast. If you're the type who loves aggressive, in-your-face combat, you'll love how quickly he can cut through enemies. His heavy attack? Even better. It's a spinning slash that hits everything around him, making it perfect for clearing out groups. Just be mindful of positioning. You don't want to spin into a bad situation. But the real game changer? The chakrams. These things function like deadly boomerangs, hitting enemies on the way out and again on the way back. If that's not enough, his heavy chakram attack lets him spin them around himself, dealing massive AoE damage. Combine that with his speed, and you've got a character who can dart in, deal serious damage, and escape before enemies can even react. So, is Vigilante the strongest character in Sworn? Maybe not in terms of pure durability, but if you master his movement and attacks, he can feel nearly unstoppable. He's all about high-speed gameplay, quick decision-making, and weaving between enemies like a pro. Whether you're dashing into the action or taking enemies down from a distance, Vigilante is a fantastic starting character that stays fun even as you unlock more options. Alright, let's talk about Monk, the powerhouse of versatility in Sworn. If you're looking for a character that blends brute force with magic, then Monk might just be your new favorite. You unlock her by clearing 15 chambers as Vigilante and gathering 20 fairy embers. And trust me, she's worth it. Unlike other characters who tend to focus on either melee or magic, Monk effortlessly juggles both, making her an incredibly fun pick if you like to mix things up. Her weapon setup is wild. First, you've got the mace, a heavy-hitting weapon similar to Rook's. It's slow, but absolutely devastating, and its heavy attack even adds some lightning damage into the mix. But the real highlight? The magical tome. Instead of swinging a weapon, you're shooting out enchanted pages in a cone-shaped spread. You can also hold down the light attack button to focus on a single enemy, dealing way more damage. And if that's not enough, the tome's heavy attack drops a page that explodes on impact, causing area damage. It's chaos, but in the best way possible. Now, let's talk spells, because Monk's magic is seriously next level. Stormcall is your go-to for zapping enemies from a distance, dealing continuous shock damage. Great for keeping pressure on enemies without getting too close. But the real game changer is Arcane Shield. This spell doesn't just protect you and your allies from the next attack. It also explodes when it breaks, damaging nearby enemies and giving you some breathing room. It's the perfect mix of defense and offense, which really sums up Monk's whole playstyle. The coolest thing about Monk is that every single attack, whether it's from her weapons or her spells, consumes energy in some way. That means you have to manage your resources wisely, but it also makes her incredibly rewarding to play. If you're getting tired of straightforward melee or pure spellcasting, Monk is the perfect way to shake things up. She's powerful, flexible, and just plain fun. Give her a try and you might never go back. Oh, Rook? Now that's a powerhouse you don't want to mess with. This guy is all about dealing massive damage while tanking hits like a champ. You unlock him after clearing 15 chambers as Monk and collecting 30 fairy embers. And trust me, he's worth every bit of effort. Unlike the other characters in Sworn, Rook prefers the hit hard, move slow approach. He wields the biggest weapons, trades speed for raw power, and has the most health to back it up. If you like smashing through enemies instead of dancing around them, Rook is your guy. Now let's talk about his first weapon, the Great Hammer. It's exactly what it sounds like. A slow but ridiculously strong weapon that flattens anything in its path. Sure, you're not going to be swinging it at lightning speed, but every hit counts. And his heavy attack? A brutal, spinning strike that clears out enemies around him. Pair it with Gog Magog's blessings to inflict stun. And suddenly, Rook's lack of speed doesn't seem like a problem anymore. Stun your enemies, take your time, and land those charged hits. It's a simple but effective game plan. But if smashing things with a hammer isn't your style, don't worry. Rook's got another trick up his sleeve. His final unlockable weapons are the gauntlets, and these things turn him into a walking disaster zone. Light attacks come in fast and furious, while the heavy attack, the Haymaker, delivers a devastating punch that can send enemies flying. It's a completely different playstyle from the hammer. Faster, more aggressive, and perfect for players who want to get up close and personal. Rook's spells complement his brawler nature perfectly. Bull Rush is exactly what it sounds like. A full-speed charge that plows through enemies, letting you take control of the battlefield. And then there's Counter, a defensive spell that lets you turn enemy attacks against them. It's a lifesaver in tight situations, and when used correctly, it makes Rook feel unstoppable. So, if you're looking for a character who can take hits, dish out punishment, and turn any fight into a battle of raw strength, Rook is your best bet. Just be ready to trade speed for sheer, overwhelming force. Alright, let's talk about Spectre, the final and arguably the most dangerous character you can unlock in Sworn. If you've made it through 15 chambers as Rook and collected 40 fairy embers, congratulations, you're in for a wild ride. Spectre is an assassin who wields magic attacks, and trust me, he does not hold back. His starting weapon, the Armillary Sphere, is already pretty busted, firing off bolts from a distance. But the real fun begins when you unleash its heavy attack, an orb that detonates on impact, wiping out anything unlucky enough to be near it. And just when you think he's all about ranged combat, Spectre switches it up with his final weapon, the Claws. These bad boys let you zip in close for fast, 4-hit combos or a devastating heavy attack that hits with both claws at once. Now let's talk spells, because Spectre's got some of the most versatile magic in the game. His Mystic Beam is exactly what it sounds like, a straight-up energy blast that lingers for a few seconds, melting enemies caught in its path. But that's just the beginning. He's also got a spell that turns him into a literal fireball, letting him dash through enemies and burn them to a crisp. Oh, and let's not forget his ability to summon familiars. Because why fight alone when you can have a squad of magical creatures doing the work for you? But the real MVP of his spell list? Blind. This spell is straight up ridiculous. Not only does it teleport you to a different location, but it also causes an explosion wherever you land. Imagine getting swarmed by enemies, popping blind, and suddenly appearing somewhere else while leaving a fiery blast behind. It's the ultimate get-out-of-jail-free card, but also an insanely aggressive move if you time it right. What makes Spectre so fun is how flexible he is. You can play him as a long-range menace, a quick-striking melee assassin, or a chaotic spellcaster who teleports all over the battlefield. Whatever your style, he's got the tools to make it work. But one thing's for sure, once you unlock Spectre, every other character in Sworn is going to feel a lot slower in comparison.
The video ends here. See you in another video. Don't forget to subscribe.